I am here with Rosemary Baron Swingle, and she is doing an art gallery in downtown Vancouver on Cordova Street between Powell and
On
Columbia. It's on Columbia, between Cordova and Powell, closer to the Columbia, the Cordova corner.
That's right.
And it's in the old Corette building, Corette of California, which used to be a clothing business, a wholesale clothing business. And you're going to a storefront, steep street, right on the street. When's it opening?
It's opening with its first exhibition on November 12th.
November 12th.
Yes, and the opening is from 7 to 9, and everybody is welcome. Everybody.
Everybody's welcome. Okay. I hope you've got lots of canopies. So 7 to 12, the address is on?
7 to 9.
7 to 9.
November the 12th.
Oh, it's going to be 7 to 12, you know that. If I show up, it'll be 7 to 1 in the morning. And so, okay, I like that. You know the bulbs that are down in Gastown?
Yes.
Well, I appeared before Vancouver City Council to have those bulbs installed. They only wanted to do the 5 bulbs. And I did an economic study showing how much they cost and all the rest, and that they were so much, the 9 bulb ones were so much nicer and so much better, and would be so much better for tourists, that we got 9 bulbs installed.
Well, I didn't see the 7, but the 9 are certainly beautiful.
Yeah, well, we got those done. Anyway, making a long story short, you keep on. How are you going to get the people in like that? What are you going to do that's going to make your gallery welcoming? Is it going to be your personality? Is it going to be the way it's laid out? Is it going to be... How do you do that?
Well,
Again, I'm going to interrupt you. You're going to answer me. I was in an art gallery down on Granville Island the other day of native art, and you can see I've got a couple of hundred native art things around here. It was so intimidating that I was uncomfortable and I left.
Oh, that's interesting.
It was so it was like exactly what you say.
Yes.
I walked in, I was just sort of wandering around the island, and
Yes.
I was actually a guy that might have bought something.
Yes.
But it was an intimidating, look down your nose type of thing, and I left.
Yes. Well, I want it to be an experience when someone comes in. And how I create this experience, I hope to obtain by the nature of the gallery. The gallery will be in total 1,500 square feet. There's 1,000 on the bottom, and the upper part is a loft part, and we're starting off using the bottom. And it is a live work studio.
Okay.
It's been designed that way. And ideally, what I would like to see is if the artist lives out of town,
Does an artist come there, and an artist in residence?
They can stay. And if, ideally, the most idyllic situation is the artist can live there and eat there and bathe there, and when someone comes into the gallery, they can be there to talk to anybody that walks in the door. That's the ideal situation. And I would also like the artist to be able to sell their own work.
So the artist is going to, well, aren't you going to sell it?
Well, this is the most ideal situation, and give workshops, talks, and literally live there. In addition to that, not everyone can do that. So we are going to have, if the artist is not physically there, we are going to have a particular night of the week, a particular day of the weekend, where the artist will talk and
so this is going to be a living artist. You're going to have an artist there as much as you can.
Yes, it won't be all the time, but as much as is possible. That's one particular way of doing it. And I will be engaging the community in other aspects of the arts. For example, we will have group art. We will have installations. It won't necessarily be one person's artwork. We will have, while art is hanging on the walls or within the gallery, 3-dimensional space, we might have a poetry reading. We might have poetry about the art that's in the gallery. Sometimes people have talents that are more than three-dimensional or two-dimensional works. Sometimes people write as well as create two or three-dimensional pieces, multifaceted talent.
There's a lady artist that I'm trying to remember her name now. I could look it up on my, who does that in, oh, why don't I remember the name of it? I'll have to find it and give it to you. She does bumblebees, but they're not bees. She started with something, and a friend did something, and they put it together, and now her stuff's sold all over the world. And she's going down to, she's from Saskatoon, which of course Joni Mitchell's from Saskatoon, and Susan Jackson's from Saskatoon. Lots of people from Saskatoon. But this lady's got she's got CDs involved, and children's books involved, and art involved, and dolls involved, and you can do the whole thing. And she's become world famous for it, even if I can't remember your name. I'm very bad at names and faces.
But that's what I want. Either the person that's in the gallery or the person that comes in to experience the gallery will receive a cornucopia of experiences, or someone might be able to deliver a cornucopia of talent and experiences.
Over at 18th and Main, that general Mount Pleasant area going up Main Street, have you done much exploring there? A lot of antique shops and hillside plumbing and the Croatian, Welsh, you know that area?
Yes, quite
They
well.
just had something like that on the street. They've had a 2-week deal where everybody was open, and they did a group, unfortunately I didn't go for it, I found out after, but they did a group thing where every little store and everybody, they all got together and advertised collectively to bring people to the area. And they encouraged, which is different, they encouraged people with to sell their stuff on the streets as well, instead of kicking them away because I'm paying taxes for my office, my store, and what right do you have to set up in front of my door? Could you see yourself encouraging local street people to be in the center of a busker? I mean, you lived in Halifax for a while, and Halifax has the most wonderful busker festival every year, and I love buskers.
I missed the Main Street situation myself. I had heard about it, but was too involved in a move during
and what you're doing? Well, you're moving your house and you're setting up an art gallery at the same time.
But I'm well aware of that. Another place where it's very successful, and this has perhaps little to do with the gallery, and at the same time I can see it involving the Gastown neighborhood to its full extent. That is, the laneways in Gastown have such potential. Like in France, on the weekends when people set up tables and sell their wares, and they're some of the most
Quebec City.
exciting.
The same lanes are in Quebec City. You can the Quebec City lanes are just as good. Do we need to take a break right now? Okay, we're going to take another break, talking to Rosemary Swingle, Rosemary Baron Swingle, about her new art gallery, Baron's Art Gallery, at 293 Columbia in Vancouver, downtown Vancouver, which is at the eastern edge of Gastown, just a block away from Maine, in an area that's becoming very gentrified.
I don't know whether you call it gentrified. I think that it's a very successful neighborhood mix.
It's coming. We'll be back in a minute, and you can watch the next episode as well.